Hi, welcome to the Weekly Course of Action, Week 1. I'm Gwen Bortner. This week I want to talk to you about not taking action. Now that may seem counterintuitive since I'm all about getting stuff done, but sometimes the most efficient way to get stuff done is not be distracted by things that you shouldn't be doing. To that effect, I'm going to talk to you about the pile-up zone or the parking lot. Now, pile-up zone makes me think of my big piles of laundry sitting in my closet, so it's not the term I prefer to use. I like parking lot because I think of all those cars neatly lined up one next to the other. But either term, whichever one makes you happy, is the term that we use for the list of things that come to us while we're doing other things. Now, I'm sure it's happened to you because it's definitely happened to me, where you're in the middle of doing something really important, something that's really productive, something that you need to be doing to get you to your next thing, whatever it is, and you get this great idea. I should go do fill in the blank. And often, if you're like me, all of a sudden your productivity goes from where it was off to this other thing. And now we've run down another rabbit hole. But that's where the parking lot comes in. Instead of getting distracted by the great ideas that come to you while you're in the midst of doing something else, the parking lot is a place for you to write them down and store them for a later date and a later time when they're actually a good time to implement. This podcast, changing the weekly course of action into a video format, is one of those examples. Quite some time ago, my virtual assistant and I talked about doing this, but I realized it was going to be a distraction from the other things I was doing. It wasn't that it wasn't a good idea, it wasn't that it shouldn't be done. It just wasn't good at that moment. So it went onto my parking lot, and eventually it came off, because look, here we are. Now, how does it work? Well, you just put these things on your list. Now, what kind of a list? You can choose. I happen to like to use a paper list because I have a paper planner that I have with me all the time. But if you're more electronically inclined, you can do it in any sort of app that you keep notes in. Just have them all grouped together so you know where to find them. And then on a regular basis, at least once a month, maybe once a week, go over your parking lot list and see if there's anything that should get moved from the parking lot into your active projects, or if there's stuff that just, it was a good idea at the moment, but now that you think about it, maybe not. And you're just going to delete it and take it right off. Then, as you go through on your regular basis, you can see what are you working on, what might be an idea that was a good idea quite some time ago, but now is a great time to implement. And you keep it all organized without losing all of those fabulous ideas. So, for this week, I want you to implement your parking lot, or pile-up zone, if you prefer that term. Use whatever tool is going to make best sense for you. If you're a paper person like me, dedicate a paper spot that you're going to keep that list. If you're an electronics person, do the same thing, but just in your electronic application. And then at the end of the week, go back over your list and see, are there things that just need to stay there for a future reference? Are there things that just need to be crossed off because maybe they weren't that great of an idea? Or are there things that are ready to be moved into the current action list? And then I'll see you next week on your weekly course of action.